Hi, I'm Paige. I'm many things. I'm a designer, I'm a mom, I'm dyslexic. But for the purpose of this talk, I'm a photographer and an artist. I try and capture what it's like to be human, to be alive, to love, to feel joy, to be present. When I photograph, I'm always searching for moments of vulnerability and authenticity, joy and connection. Empathy is my currency. A camera is my instrument. Serendipity is my muse. Up until the COVID pandemic, I documented rock stars, academics, and the occasional toddler. I create physical memories that I imbibe with meaning. And now, in 2020, my work has shifted from documenting connection to creating a conduit for connection between caregiver and patient, and also between teacher and student. The skill and craft of my art combines with my beliefs to purposely shape people's attention and experience, to focus that attention on joy and connection and empathy. I want to promote messages of courage, compassion, joy, and kindness in a world that normally doesn't focus on these core aspects of being human. Through my photography, I try and shed a compassionate light on our shared humanity and our need for connection. How did I come up with such a notion? Well, that's why I'm here to talk today. Because I didn't start out with this goal in mind. In fact, when I was younger, I didn't even know I had a choice to choose my own life's goal. I was shy, I was timid, I was clueless about following my heart. So when it came time to choosing a college and career path, my primary thoughts were, what would everyone else want me to do? I was brought up to believe that a modern young woman should be educated primarily so she could support herself and be independent. Everything else good in life flowed out of this independence. I decided to go to college in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I'd never been there before. It sounded exciting, and my parents said Boston was a nice city, so I took off by myself to MIT. I took several courses in photography, but made architecture and design my focus. As much as I love photography, it never crossed my mind that photography could be my career. Photography and music were an aside, an amusement that filled my soul, but I thought I needed a career that would impress others and fill my bank account. I went on to use my visual and analytical skills to design some of the first web-based user interfaces for companies such as Apple, Netscape, and Netflix. I might have continued indefinitely on that path if it weren't for the birth of my children, Emma and Gus. They cracked my heart wide open. They gave me the gift of feeling truly vulnerable for the first time in my life. The birth of my children allowed me to step off the Silicon Valley crazy train for just long enough to realize that I didn't want to get back on. My timing was fortuitous. The digital camera revolution had just begun, and I've always had a penchant for cool digital toys and tools. For better or worse, my kids and their classmates have some of the most extensively documented childhoods of the early 2000s. So how did this lead to photographing loud rock concerts and ultimately to quiet soul-filled portraits? If there's been one constant in my life, it's been my love of live music. Concerts are where I've always felt the most connected to the world. The synergy of my love of music, photography, and digital tools finally came together in my late 30s. My real aha moment happened in the summer of 2007. That's when I crossed paths with Matt Allen, aka the Ice Cream Man, at the Lollapalooza Music Festival in Chicago. What is Ice Cream Man? The Ice Cream Man organization was created with the goal to give away 500,000 free bars of ice cream, most often at music festivals. Why free ice cream? It was a small, simple, ephemeral act of kindness. Ice Cream Man wanted to show the world you can follow your dream no matter how crazy, and that through small acts of kindness, you can inspire others to be kind and follow on their own dreams. His message and his philosophy resonated with me. Thus I began photographing music festivals and concerts and giving away ice cream with the Ice Cream Man crew. No, I didn't leave my family and start crossing the country living on an ice cream truck, although it did cross my mind. But I did begin to listen to my heart and transition my career from user design and research to photography. For most of the past decade, I've been the house photographer for the iconic Fillmore Auditorium in San Francisco, as well as several other venues and music festivals in the Bay Area. In addition to my live music photography, I consciously choose clients that align with my focus on joy, connection, and compassion. I photograph for universities, small organizations, and learning institutions that work towards goals I believe in: gender equity, eliminating bias and racism, and progressive education, to name a few. In early March, my career as I knew it came to a crashing halt. Every single one of my clients was shuttered and closed for the indefinite future. No concerts at the Fillmore. No lectures at Stanford. No go-kart races at Peninsula School. I spent the first month in a daze, glued to my computer screen. I did nothing, and I do mean nothing, but digest COVID-19 related news and research day and night for weeks. I felt hopeless. What can I do? How can I help? And then, once again, my most faithful muse intervened and changed the path of my life. Serendipity. While watching the weekly Stanford School of Medicine's grand rounds, an image grabbed me. A medical worker, shrouded in PPE, wearing a sticker with a picture of herself over her heart. I felt an immediate calling to be a part of whatever was making those pictures happen. I'm fortunate to have found kindred souls in Mary Beth Heffernan from Oxy and Katie Brown Johnson and the rest of the research team from Stanford. They warmly welcomed me into their sphere, and for the past 5 months, I've taken the deep dive with PPE Portrait implementation and research. I was drawn to extend the project. Using my user-centered design skills, I researched and designed reusable laminated PPE Portrait badges. Using my photography skills and local connections, I expanded the project beyond hospitals and clinics to assisted living facilities and elementary schools. I began to mentor friends, training them to connect them with the project. Do you want to know the craziest thing about this project for me? For the first time, I'm now able to bring all my skills and talents to the table. Researcher, designer, photographer, connector. When life gave me lemons, I didn't make lemonade. I made PPE portraits. And I'm a better and more flexible person because of this unexpected crisis. It's flipped my notion of the role I play as photographer on its head. I used to capture moments to provide a memory. Now I'm providing moments for future connection where I won't ever be present. It's someone else's experience entirely. I hope my photography will make that connection more familiar, more human, more tangible, more visually comforting and present. I am bringing the face of the caregiver or teacher that is otherwise hidden behind layers to that present moment with their patient or student. The love is there. The care is there. I'm just making sure that the compassionate face is visible there too. Speaking of compassion, over the last 7 years, I've broadened my body of knowledge by exploring different aspects of presence and compassion. Conferences, workshops, lectures, and retreats that I thought were for personal benefit have been crucial for my current work. Yet again, I discounted something that I thought wasn't worthy of a professional aspiration, yet it became a crucial key to unlock one of the most rewarding parts of my personal and professional journey. So that's where I am today. I may be someplace else tomorrow. No matter where I am, my core purpose remains the same. I'm helping to spread my belief in an equitable, connected society. More broadly, by making and spreading art that focuses on joy and connection, I'm drawing attention to their importance. This is what my heart tells me to do. To seek out and manifest connection, compassion, and joy, even when it's in the middle of suffering and sickness. I want my photography to remind you you're not alone. I hope that when you see my pictures, you feel connected to others. We humans need each other. We are social creatures. We are interconnected and stronger when we work together. Reaching out for support is not a sign of weakness. It models vulnerability, compassion, and connection. I also want my photography to empower you, to be brave. I believe kind people are brave people. Brave isn't just a feeling, it's a decision to show up, a decision that compassion is more important than fear, more important than fitting in, more important than following the crowd. Finally, I hope my photography inspires you to listen to your heart, your intuition. It's all too easy to try and stuff down our feelings and soldier on, to make decisions based on people's needs and desires, on shoulds and musts. Instead, we need to find expression through our own unique and imperfect selves. Our beauty lies in our imperfection. Share and celebrate the whole you, bumps and all. Celebrate with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Celebrate the imperfections in us all. It's not an either or, it's a both and. By listening to both your head and your heart, by listening to both your own needs and the needs of others, you are being both a brave and responsible person. When you are authentic and true to yourself, you bring your singular uniqueness to the table. We all have a choice about where we put our attention and effort. It's through our shared empathy and action that we can create solidarity and begin to change the world.